Losing a Game 7 of the World Series to the Los Angeles Dodgers isn't the kind of scar that fades with time. It stays there, pulsing, reminding every fan inside the Rogers Center that we were 3 outs, or maybe just one bullpen arm away from finally hanging another banner up there beside 92 and 93. The front office felt the blow. They opened the vault. Dylan Cease for $210 million is a declaration of war, a warning to the rest of the league that Toronto no longer accepts the role of a luxury supporting character. But while we look at the shine of Cease's contract or the arrival of Kazuma Okamoto, there's a black hole on this roster that's keeping people who understand baseball up at night. And the problem isn't the lineup. Losing Bo Bichette to the Mets hurts the pride, sure. Seeing Chris Bassett wearing an Orioles uniform is a punch to the gut. But the real vulnerability of the Toronto Blue Jays right now, the point where the 2026 season could bleed out, is the left side of the bullpen. Look at the roster as it stands. Brendan Little and Eric Lauer. That's it. If the season started today, that would be our left-handed line of defense against the monsters in this division. And that's exactly why the name Garrett Clevenger has started circulating so heavily behind the scenes in Toronto. What we're talking about here isn't a flashy signing to sell jerseys. It's about survival in the AL East. Clevenger costs $2.4 million. For a payroll that's already loaded, that number is basically coffee change. But what he delivers on the mound is gold. We're talking about a guy coming off a 2.35 ERA with 82 strikeouts in 67 games. He's not just a lefty brought in to face one left-handed hitter and leave. He's an elite arm that the Tampa Bay Rays, as always, polished, and now may turn into valuable assets. But there's one detail that nobody wants to confront head-on. The Rays don't give anything away for free, especially not to a division rival. If Ross Atkins wants Clevenger to provide the support that Gausman and Cease need, he's going to have to pay the division tax, and the competition is predatory. Zach Botcher from Bleacher Report already dropped the names. The New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles are at the table. Picture the scene. We lose Bassett to Baltimore, and now we lose the chance to reinforce the bullpen because the Orioles decide to jump the deal. That's the kind of move that defines who plays in October and who watches from the couch. The risk isn't the talent, it's the prospect price that would have to head down to Florida. Clevenger is under team control through 2027. He's not a 3-month rental for a playoff push. He's a foundational piece for the next 2 years. When you look at his numbers over the last 4 seasons, the consistency jumps off the page, always under a 3.75 ERA. He's the antidote to that 7th-inning panic moment when the game is tied and an elite opposing left-handed bat steps to the plate. But what if that's not exactly the problem? We tend to focus on money, but baseball in Toronto in 2026 is about urgency. The window isn't just open, it's starting to want to close. The departure of IKF to the Boston Red Sox and Seranthony Dominguez to the Chicago White Sox drained our depth. We got heavier at the top with Cease, but thinner at the base. Adding Tyler Rogers and Chase Lee helps, but it doesn't solve the left-handed imbalance. Here's the raw analysis. If the Blue Jays don't land an arm like Clevenger's, that $210 million investment in Cease could be wasted in 8th-inning collapses handed over by the bullpen. Canadian fans are tired of potential. We want the security of knowing that when the Rogers Center is shaking in a tight game against the Yankees, we're not relying on gambles or improvised AAA call-ups. Clevenger is the perfect target because he's cheap on the books and expensive in performance. He's the type of player championship teams go after while everyone else is staring at the superstars. But here's the uncomfortable question. Does the front office have the nerve to hand hand more prospect to the Rays in exchange for immediate security, or are we going to keep believing Lauer can hold down the left side alone? The market is moving fast. Ken Rosenthal has already confirmed that the interest around him is real, and the talks are heating up. If Toronto truly wants to erase the ghost of that painful loss, the answer isn't just about who starts the game, it's about who has the cold blood to slam the door shut. At the end of the day, 2026 might hinge on a $2.4 million pitcher most people wouldn't recognize on the street, but one every left-handed hitter in the league hates to face. It's the missing checkmate on the board. Would you sacrifice the future to lock down this bullpen now, or trust what we already have? Drop your thoughts below.